Do you believe this stuff that's coming out of your mouth? There's no way you do.
This was a credit card cuckold.
Love wins out in the end, you know?
So that T-shirt, that's fantastic.
I just put it on after work, and I didn't really think about it until I actually turned the phone on. I'm like, ooh, he's going to like this.
Dougie Wade, everybody, he's back. He's back where he belongs. Right here next to me on the Casey on Tap podcast. My goodness, you were missed, and you were, for the record, you probably listened because I know you're devoted to the cause.
Listen, as the assistant to the assistant of the executive director, I feel it is my duty to listen to, the podcast that I may not be able to be on.
If people out there don't get the Office references, this may not be the show for you, but well played. Look, folks, he's not the best color man in the business for nothing. Welcome back, Douglas. You were well represented last week. I mentioned you several times, and hopefully you're prepared to be the final vote of a question we have coming up later. We'll keep the suspense for the people for now, but hopefully you know what I'm referring to. It was the mailbag number 6 last week.
Yeah, I'm prepared. I'm prepared.
As you should be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is mid-August. We are rolling along, trucking along. Doug, we got a lot to get to. But of course, need to start with new places, new faces. Welcome this week, Hilton Head, South Carolina. Hey, it's about time. It's about time, Hilton Head. I mean, Doug's there all the time.
My old stomping ground. I lived there for a long time. They better.
I would venture to guess you've got several course records out there in that area.
Ooh,
no,
I don't know about
all right.
That one. I don't know. No, I'd have to think about it. Probably not.
I'm saying there's a couple floating out there. How about Ashburn, Virginia? Welcome, Ashburn. Portland, Maine. The New England states, man, it's from what I hear, just beautiful in the fall. So welcome Portland, Maine, and welcome Brunswick, Ohio. There you go. New places, new faces. Douglas, as we say every week, we're growing like a fungus. We suck. We know it, but we're trying to get better, just a little bit better every week. That's our thing, right? Let me see that T-shirt. You got to believe. You got to believe, folks. That's Doug. You got to believe.
That's the man right there. Listen, anybody who hasn't seen the show, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? It is a must-see. It is arguably the greatest show ever written.
You've got a few weeks a few weeks left of the summer where, until it ramps up and we're into college football and the NFL and in the new seasons of whatever you've got a few weeks left to for some old content. If you haven't watched Ted Lasso, you might want 2 thumbs up from me, 2 thumbs up from Doug. You might want to check it out. All right. So there you go. Douglas, what's been going on? Tell us about anything. What's the latest and greatest down there with you? We've missed you. It's been a couple weeks. So what's happening?
Yeah, it's been a busy few weeks. We had our member guest, which is a huge stressful tournament. And then I had a couple tournaments myself, and just kids getting back to school this week. So, it's been a lot going on, but getting primed and ready for some fantasy football drafts coming up. Just watching Deshaun just sling it in practices. I mean, can't be more excited as a Browns fan. I mean, this is when everyone's got eternal hope right now. The season is just starting.
I laugh because I chuckle because I live in Cleveland, and so I get the news. We all know that slinging it isn't what he's doing right now.
Look like me in 8th grade recess with the turbo football.
Is that right? You should throw it right in the dirt like that too.
I mean, yeah,
you just throw right in the dirt.
Oh no, we get the Knights of the Rounds table, class of '97 on here. They'll let you know about my turbo football accolades. I'm no doubt about it.
I'm sure that's true. You compared yourself to Deshaun. What I'm trying to say is, something's wrong. He can't. It's good. Oh, I'm excited.
Stop.
He has receivers going. Come on, man. Get the ball up. Oh, it's phenomenal.
How do you feel about Zeke 2.0 coming back to Dallas here? How's this going to work?
Not good. This is not good. None of this is good. Of all the times in the world for America's team.
What's the updated spread on that week 1 game?
See, shall we? It can't be good.
Growing.
It can't be good. No, look, I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of truth. Look, I know this isn't good.
I mean, now there's squabbling between Jerry Jones and CeeDee Lamb. I mean, what is going on here?
J-
This is
Jera, Jera, Jera has lost
boy.
the ability to give any Fs. He has no Fs left to give. None. How about Jerry? He doesn't care. He's out there with the media. He's as bad as Donald Trump. Him and D. Trump have lost their mind. They're out there every day. They're out there in front of microphones, just saying the most nonsensical things. Cleveland is minus the 1.5. And when you and I started yip yapping about this a few weeks ago, I think the Cowboys were -1. It isn't good. We'll see what happens. The over under is 43. 43 points in the NFL.
It's over. Give me
Right?
the over. Week ones are sloppy though.
Well,
Week
and
ones are
Deshaun can't.
sloppy.
And Deshaun's gonna have. They're gonna. They're gonna go the
Oh,
old
stop. We don't have Chubb. Remember that. Chubb.
poor Chubb.
It's,
Nick Chubb. I mean, the over under is what, 6
but you know
carries
what?
before that knee gets turned inside out again.
Oh, stop. He's a Mack
Douglas,
truck.
we have some headlines I wanted to talk about today that I read. They just almost. We need to make up a segment called true or not true, or this is how you know it's 2024 or something. But I wanted to start with a few headlines, and I wanted to read these to you just to get your, and folks, we did not go over these beforehand. He may or may not have heard of these, but we'll start with number one. The Notre Dame men's swimming program has been suspended for an entire year after a gambling investigation has taken place. The majority of the returning 2024-2025 team is believed to have placed significant bets. Douglas, what are your thoughts on this? This is from Sports
What did they
Illustrated,
bet
by the
on?
way.
What did they bet
Quote,
on?
a deeply
Swimming?
embedded team culture, dismissive of Notre Dame's standards for student athletics. That is from the athletics director, Pete Bevacqua. This is good stuff. The Notre Dame men's team effectively created its own sports book for the purpose of wagering on their swimming performances.
Okay.
Quote, over underlines were established for a swimmer's times in certain races, with wagers being placed on outcomes. There are no known gambling companies that take wagers or produce betting lines on college swimming. So let me say this.
Yes. Yeah. You just answered. This is
The Notre
no-brainer.
Dame men's team, much like they created the Catholics versus convicts back in the day, they created that on their own with the slogan of the t-shirts. They said, the Notre Dame swimmers said, hey, there's no market here. The people, the degenerates, they want to bet on swimming. We will create.
I'm even more impressed with the academic standards of Notre Dame after hearing this story. This is impressive that they could actually create and just create their own book. That's impressive. Kudos to them.
Cure cancer, life on Mars.
Well, now here's the question: since they're banned for since they're banned for a year and they're no longer swimming in collegiate, can they continue to grow their sports book and put out swimming lines on other meets? That would be, this might be a good opportunity for them.
We win. We all win. This is America. God bless. God bless touchdown Jesus. God bless Notre Dame swimming.
I would have bet on a few of my friends
in high school
swimming.
The over-under.
You better believe it. I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under on my girl Kelly Salinas.
Well, I got to know the conditions. I got to know the temperature of the water. I have to know if there's a lot of riptide going on. If there's a lot of movement in the water. I have to know the density of the water. There's a lot of things.
I wonder. I'm sure there's like certain pools that have faster times. What about this?
You got to know if they have swim caps, like if they're going to be rubbing their swim caps down with grease or with butter. You go through that. There's a lot of factors. Okay. Headline number 2. Multiple people charged today in connection with Matthew Perry's death. Matthew Perry, as we know, the beloved Friends star, battled drug addiction for so long, was found dead in his hot tub, a short time ago, and everyone social media was mourning, and it appeared that it was just a kind of a weird situation, and he'd been sober for quite some time. Well, check this out. 5, count them, 5 individuals have been charged in the connection of the 2023 death. Okay. The charges announced Thursday morning at a press conference in Los Angeles come after investigators have uncovered an underground network of drug sellers and suppliers they allege are responsible for distributing the ketamine, a potentially deadly drug that killed Perry. They're calling one of them, quote, the ketamine queen. Douglas, what are your thoughts on this situation?
I briefly saw a little bit about this actually this morning. I mean, I'm not going to say it was shocking out of right field. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I'm glad they found out who it is. I'm glad they're getting charged. I mean, I'm not surprised.
The defendants include 2 doctors, along with Perry's live-in personal assistant, and the 4th person referred to as the ketamine queen. They're going to be charged with some sort of murder. He was 54 years young and found floating face down in a standalone jacuzzi in his Pacific, California home. R.I.P. Matthew Perry. Last but certainly not least, when I say the name Rachel Gunn or Ray Gunn, does that invoke any thoughts in your mind? If not, that's okay. Then I would follow with breakdancing. Anything?
Rachel Gunn breakdancing.
She went viral. She was the breakdancer from Australia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know her
Ray
name,
Gunn.
but yes. I've seen her performances.
Outstanding. Ray Gunn, whose birth name is Rachel Gunn, went viral. She did not earn. Not only did she not earn a medal, Douglas, she lost all 3 of her round robin battles by a combined score of 54-0. That's 18-0, 18-0, 18-0.
Yeah, but that not only was she so bad that she lost by 54 points, she got an entire sport banned in the next Olympics. I mean, that is impressive. That's like Joe Caprella on the golf course impressive right there. That is as good as it gets.
Joe came dangerously close to having all 4-man scrambles banned forever.
I know Joe is athletically gifted in some way, and I still believe he's a saboteur.
He was a state wrestler.
No, I think the Sarakitis group, they all slipped him $100 and said, mess these guys up, have some fun with them.
Maybe one of the gummies they were eating. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Who knows?
But yeah, so Ray Gunn. Okay, she was
Ray Gunn.
Not okay. It's called breaking. Okay, break dancing, but in the Olympics, it was called breaking for the country of Australia, and she has received major backlash from the world. On social media, she's being dubbed as the kangaroo because one of her moves, Doug, was the kangaroo. She says, quote, look, this is from Ray Gunn, quote, this is ABC News. All of my moves are original. Creativity is my thing. I go out there, I show my artistry. Do I have the technical components everybody else does? Of course not. But it's the creativity. That's what I was all about. Unquote. R.I.P. breaking. R.I.P. breaking.
I mean, listen, I'm sure she wasn't trying to do poorly.
No.
I kind of feel bad for her. She's probably like, I'm that bad. Like, I think this is really good. I was in the Olympics for crying out loud. I couldn't be this awful. That's my guess is how she believed what she's thinking in her head.
She started breaking in her mid-20s.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. She goes to the local high school talent show. Does she win?
locally in like Australia? Because I can't speak on that. I mean,
Well,
I
I
do
mean,
my breaking here
Cleveland.
in Cleveland, locally.
Yeah, well, let's say she goes to Canton McKinley. It's just a
Uh,
high school talent show. Is her breakdancing
no,
good enough to
no,
win
she's
that?
gonna lose. She's not gonna lose 18-0. At Kate McKinley, she's gonna go down in that round robin. She's gonna lose like 54-21. She's gonna lose 18-7 three times in a row.
Do we know how she qualified to be into the Olympics? Was she like the only contestant that went out for Australia? Was there just nobody
It
else?
says,
She just signed a
great
waiver. She
question.
was in.
Last year, she won the QMS Oceania Championships in Sydney to earn Australia's first ever spot in the B girl competition at the
Okay,
Olympics.
there you go. She's winning a high school talent show.
For those of you who haven't seen her performance, you just use the Google machine or TikTok. You'll see it. There you go, Douglas. Those are the 4 headlines I wanted to discuss with you that prove that we are indeed in the year 2024. It's just such a wonderful time to be alive. All right, fan feedback, ladies and gentlemen. Panicked, puckered, ejected. Made me eject the water I was drinking from my mouth laughing so hard. Well done, Mike in Cleveland. Thank you, Mike. Panicked, puckered, ejected. This needs to be a t-shirt. Dom, the VP of hype. I think it should be 2. It's still panicked, puckered, and ejected. Oh, God, that was funny. Wait, oh, my God. Okay, Dina from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The gentle thread in which you guys weave serious issues in dilemmas like the pitfalls of alcohol with the serious issues in dilemmas of pegging and, quote, awesome sauce is nothing short of exceptional. Keep up the good work. Hashtag credit card cuckold. Thank you, Dina. We're going to do our best. Doug, what do you think about panic, puckered, and ejected?
I mean, I felt for the guy at the time.
Why?
I mean,
He
I
was
get it.
great.
Well, no. Oh, it's fantastic. No, but I'm saying like his first initial reaction, he got stage fright. But your advice was spot on. He needs to relax. He needs to go back in and say, okay, let's try this again. There's no question. But yeah, his immediate reaction, I felt that. I understood. You know, but
Did you
yeah, I
like
mean,
how I
he's got to
I
give it another go.
organically and naturally it turned into suds it up? I didn't even mean that. What I was talking about, you got to scrub, you got to get some soap in it. So
Yeah.
look, you see how it's all weaving together. Interestingly enough. So, all right, that was the fan feedback, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, some of it anyway. So thank you for that. And without further ado, Doug is back. I'm back. Casey on Tap is back for yet another week. And the mailbag, it's yours, it's his, it's mine, it's everyone's. It's the mailbag, and it's sponsored by Jackson Gray Jewelers in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Chad Verhoff, the master jeweler. Check out Jackson Gray Jewelers today. And 310 Labs, a couple of indie gaming buddies, passionate about Playmates. Who are the Playmates? You, me, Doug, everybody around this great country. Download yet another Spider Solitaire, YASS, today for deal of the day. Play for free. You will be glad you did. It's a lot of fun, that solitaire from 310 Labs. All right, Douglas, to the mailbag we go, and I'm going to start us off with a softball as per usual. What do you think? Let's go with this one. You guys seem like the perfect duo to ask. I personally think Meatloaf gets a bad rap and is greatly underrated. What do you guys think? Chris, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Appreciate that question.
Yeah, I do too, as do I. He was right. We are a good duo to ask. Go ahead, Douglas.
Yeah, I mean, so growing up in Midwest Ohio, all of our mothers, at some point made meatloaf. I have had all the spectrums on meatloaf, from fantastic to unedible. There's no question that meatloaf has a wide variety of tastes, but good meatloaf is solid and is very underrated, especially in the wintertime. You get some mashed potatoes in there. I mean, you know, I would yell all the time to my mother, "Ma, where's the meatloaf? Where's the meatloaf?"
Classic line.
Once a week, I think, growing up. I don't have it much now often, but if I was home and my mom was cooking it, I would have it. Would I buy it from a store? No. But if somebody's making it homemade, slam dunk.
Have you ever made meatloaf yourself?
No.
So you would say that meatloaf's underrated. That's the answer from you.
Well, good meatloaf, but I understand if someone's had a bad experience, how they can write it off completely.
Well, okay, we're not going to go to the extreme. I agree with Doug, 100%. Meatloaf, greatly, greatly under. It gets a terrible rap. The name Meatloaf, the Ma, where's the meatloaf? These things have these Lunch Ladyland, Chris Farley, the Meatloaf. Look, Meatloaf is what it's ground beef, it's seasoning, it's got a little baked on tomato paste or ketchup, whatever it is. And like Doug said, you put some mashed potatoes and corn with it. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Bro, you need to tell your wife she can listen. Meatloaf is greatly, greatly underrated. It's a delicious dish that can be served. Yeah, it's more of a winter dish, like Doug said. You think I won't eat a meatloaf sandwich in the summertime? You bet your ass I'll eat a meatloaf sandwich. Shoot. Slap a little meatloaf on that plate. Anytime. Meatloaf, yes. Douglas, right?
yes, absolutely.
Shame on her. Laughing at you. You came to the right place. That's our fact. I like a little meatloaf, a little mashed potatoes right about now, if I'm being very honest. Okay. Question number 2. Doug, what was up with Matt Kuchar last week? Kept the entire staff an extra day? Have you ever experienced anything like that before? Steven in Kansas wants to know from a professional golfer.
I have never seen anything like that before. And if you are going to ask me one golfer who would potentially do that, Matt Kuchar would have been my guess. For those that are unaware of what happened, it's the final round of the tournament. It was delayed from the beginning of the week on due to rain on Thursday. So they were playing catch up all week. So on Sunday, the final day, Matt Kuchar has the lead going into the final day, but they had to play 36 holes. So by the time the 36th hole rolls around, Matt Kuchar's down to like 12th place. He's out of contention. He's out. Neither guy from his group's going to win. The winners are done. Every player in the field, except for his twosome, is done. Now, they teed off, and the siren blew, meaning they could stop due to darkness, but once you tee off, you're allowed to finish the hole. His playing partner said, of course I'm going to finish the hole. Matt Kuchar, who had already hit his tee shot, says, no, I'm gonna come back the next morning. So he makes all the volunteers, all the staff, makes the golf course superintendents, everybody back up to work at 4:30 in the morning so he can hit one approach shot, which he missed the green. And then it was pretty cool. He hit a chip shot that hit the pin, should have went in, stuffed the foot, and he tapped it in. But it was ridiculous. It was so selfish. He later apologized, which, that and a bag of chips will get you very little. So, I mean, it's just incredible stuff. I've never seen it before, ever.
You said if you had to guess who it would have been, one golfer, you would have guessed Matt Kuchar. Why do you say that?
Well, he has experiences with being selfish. And, I mean, for example, most people are aware of the story when he was down in a PGA Tour event in Mexico, and he had to hire a local caddy. He hired a local caddy. He wins the tournament. Typically, when you win a tournament, you give your caddy 10%. 10% of the purse, which for the caddy at the time would have been like $110,000, whatever it was. And but Kuchar gave his caddy $5,000 and said they had a written contract before the week began that he was going to get a flat fee of $5,000. Now this local caddy knows no different. He's just excited to be in the tournament. He's never caddied in a tour event. They go on to win, and Kuchar stiffs him with just the $5,000, which obviously made national news, was headlines everywhere. Unbelievable. So that's Matt Kuchar for you.
The irony is, I could remember when he was an amateur coming out, and
I played against him multiple times as an amateur.
everyone loved him at the Masters. He made a run.
Oh yeah, he
Everyone,
had that cheesy smile. Absolutely, still does.
but it's interesting. He was the crowd favorite, and now is that
Oh yeah, he's.
is that the Kuchar smile?
Oh man,
Hey, so and now it's interesting. He has a reputation for. I don't know what the hell he was doing the other day, but although in his defense, he ended up winning like 150 grand. He's got to take it. If you can't see, you can't see. Is there what? Didn't he win like 120 grand or something? 150?
he had to hit one more shot. His playing partner hit the shot. I mean, one more shot. It's
Okay.
selfish. Selfish.
He's getting old. He's getting old. All right. There you go. So that was a good question. All right, Douglas. From Joe in Columbus. Any sex toy advice for couples? Question mark. That's it. Any sex toy advice for couples? That's it.
Interesting. That's a broad spectrum there. I mean, and I'll guess I'll
That's
just
all it
keep my
is.
answer broad in general as well. I mean, every couple's different. If you're looking and need to excite things up a little bit, and you can have conversation, you guys like toys, one or the other, you talk about it. Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? That's.
He's asking you for. Do you have a
Do you
specific
want like a
sex?
make and model?
Well, he wants to know. Yeah. Have you ever used a sex toy that? I mean,
I mean,
Jesus.
what?
He
Everybody.
wants to know if we have advice for any sex toys for him and his partner. A couple.
Who
Have
who,
you ever
who
used
has
any sex toys that you're like,
who
oh
hasn't
yeah,
used sex toys before?
a
I don't
swing? Have
know.
you ever used a swing? Have you ever used a sex? A swing, like a swing.
He should have
You
like
you're
listed some items and
strapped up on a
had us
swing.
rank them. Yeah, I
Huh?
mean, he could have listed some items, had us rank them. I'm not just as a broad.
No, no. See, we're
He
gonna
just
start
said
getting
toys in general. I say yes to toys in general. There you go.
all right. So, Doug. So again, most people are afraid to dip their toe in. I'm not. I'll dive right in. Obviously, everybody knows about the little vibrators, little rabbits that girls use, and everybody knows about the little masturbators, guys. He wants to know about a couple sex toy. Let me tell you about a sex toy. There is a sex toy that you can use that goes on the male. That and then there's a little apparatus that goes into the female when you have intercourse, and you can actually monitor it, on your phone. Like there's an app, you can see the intensity happening. Or I tell you another good one that I've used. You put a little something, there's a little something that put a little plug in your female friend, and they walk around town, and you can use your app, your phone, and turn it on. So they're in the grocery store, and they're like, whoop, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, and there's things you could go around the shaft of the penis area, and a girl can use it, and you're like, whoa, hey, whoa. But yeah, I've read about those. I don't have any idea about them, but I've read about them. So, what do you think? What do you think, Doug?
I'm
Pretty
gay.
good.
I'm just listening to
I think that's what
all
he
your
was.
recommendations.
Hopefully, Joe from Columbus, you appreciate this answer because I'm going out on a limb and standing there for you, buddy. So you can. There's all technology is an amazing thing. You just like right now, you can just go, whoa, level 8. Hey, honey, how you doing? All right. Last but certainly not least, my girlfriend wants to have a threesome with one of her friends. Okay, this is from a Mike in Ohio. I've never done anything outside of the monogamous relationship her and I have. 32 years old. Do you think it's a good idea? Both 32 years old. Thanks.
So here's the thing. Eh, you know,
The
growing
question,
up,
the question,
in,
Doug, is, you can elaborate, but remember at the end or right now, he wants to know. The question is, is this a good idea?
Yeah, I know. And here's what I'm going to say to that. I think back of my own thoughts on, when I'm early to mid 20s, and man, this sounds great, and I'd love to, whatever. It sounds really fun. But once you get into a serious monogamous relationship, everything comes with a price. If your relationship is going well right now, you got to be careful on what door you're going to open here, because this can lead to some things you're not even thinking about here, and there's no going back once you open it. It sounds fun now, but I'm just telling you, once that 5 minutes of fun's over, ooh, I gotta tell you, there could be some things coming down that path that she's setting you up for. She's setting you up now for it. Iceberg straight ahead. I'll let you say that. Yeah, I mean I feel the same way. This is my experience is going to tell me at this point. Let's just let's avoid the iceberg. Let's just stay on the straight and narrow here.
Not a good idea. Is
Mm.
it a good idea for a porn that you're watching with actors and strangers? Of course it is. It's all fun and games until it's not. The oh boy, is that tempting. See, we're really gonna try to help you here because it's easy for Douglas and I to sit here and say no. It is. I mean, riding the Titanic seemed fantastic. It was a luxurious ship. It was luxury. I mean, don't get on the Titanic. Are you crazy? Of course I'm going to get on the Titanic. Look at that. Look at that ship. You have a woman talking about bringing her friend into the bedroom with you. It's like watching Leo walk onto that boat in the movie. You're watching him walk on, and he's like, "Hey, let me tell you something. About 3 minutes into this rendezvous, when you've got mouths and lips everywhere, you might stand up and go, 'I'm the king of the world,' like Leo did on the front of that ship." You don't want you don't. It's not worth it. Remember, Leo was there in the water on that picture. Rose, Rose, let me up on that picture, man. I'm freezing. She's like, "No, you're gonna stay right down there, freeze to death, son." That you'd be Leo. This would turn into an icy, frozen death of a relationship. How's that, Doug? What do you think about? I feel like I gave him a really good picture there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I'm feel for the guy because we've all been at that age and that excitement and it's just oh god.
Doug, have you ever had a woman say, "Hey, I want to bring a friend of mine into the bedroom with us"?
I'm not going
Very.
to answer. I'm not going to answer that. But listen.
Oh,
Okay, maybe.
oh, I wonder what that means.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm
This
gonna
guy's
say
in a relationship. This guy's in a monogamous relationship.
yeah.
The answer's don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Well, now we want to know if you did it because clearly the audience and I both know that you had that.
Not well. No, not in monogamous relationship. No.
Just okay. Well, that's different. That's different. I agree. All right, listen.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. So there you go. That was another good one. That was a good question. And if we look, Doug and I both can understand if you were to, we get it. It's all right, Doug. It leads us back to our final question of last week, where she wants you to be the tiebreaker because, as you saw from my answer, was more of a my answer was it's awesome sauce, and the question was the squirter, the female ejaculate, was it urine, not urine, and they want a tiebreaker, and I said it was awesome, and we're leaving it to you.
So I did some research,
Okay.
and a woman's that squirts there the chemical that comes out is very similar to urine, but it's not urine. It does not smell like urine. and it's not the same color as urine, but it is similar. But it absolutely is not urine, and it should be celebrated and applauded, and that's the answer. That's it.
It's, ladies and gentlemen, it should be. So yes. I think that was an Ashley. I think that was Ashley in Florida last week. I remember that. So good, nice job, Doug. There it is. There's the answer. All right. So you said before we go, you were talking about fantasy football. How many fantasy football drafts are you in? Or
I'm only in 3. I used to be in more, but I keep it down to 3. It gets to be too much. I want to focus my attention, and I don't play for fun. It's an investment.
Is that right?
Yeah, I play to win.
Play to win. All right. So you and I are going to have our own draft maybe next week, but I'm just going to let you know right now, not fantasy. What I want to do is, because I've been listening to a lot of a lot of the ESPN this week, and you forget that this year the college football, the 12-team tournament, it's going to be awesome. And then you also hear them previewing some of these teams. You might be able to name more than most. I forget half these teams what conferences they're in anymore. Like Cal and Stanford are in the ACC, and I totally forgot about that. That is whacked out. But what you and I are going to do is we'll draft like 6 or 7 teams apiece to win the college championship. But right now, the top 12 according to Vegas. Well, I'll let you guess.
Well, Georgia,
Okay.
Ohio State,
Yep.
Oregon,
Yep.
Ole Miss,
Yep.
Texas,
Yep.
Alabama.
Very good. Yep.
Um,
That's the first. That is the first 6 actually. Not
Yeah.
necessarily order, but you got the top 6.
yeah, this is when it gets. This is when it gets a little bit. So I know there's a couple more decent teams in there. Is Penn State in the top 12?
They are. That was the
Yeah.
surprise to me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they got a good squad.
Yeah, they've got some hype. Well, their offense was garbage last year. Garbage. Remember how bad their offense was? Their quarterback.
Yeah, but they got most people back.
Wow.
Let's see, is Florida in there?
No. No.
Florida State?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Florida State. Now there's
And Notre Dame?
yes.
Ah, God, yeah, that's a stretch. Okay.
And then
Is there any more Big Ten teams?
Yes.
Wisconsin?
The defending national champions are in there. The defending national and Big Ten champions.
Well, that's ridiculous. I'm not even going to say their name because that's stupid.
Their name is Michigan.
By the way, we didn't even touch on the old JJ McCarthy being out for the year either. Unbelievable. Yeah, so that's the who else?
The other ones, the only 2 you missed were LSU and Tennessee. Tennessee's number 12.
Yeah, I mean, I figured SEC teams. The SEC's got half the teams in there.
So we got A&M there at 13. Texas A&M is 13, and they play Notre Dame there that week 1. So
yeah, well, I already told you what I'm thinking of that game.
what did you say? You thought
I told you I liked A&M. I told you I liked A&M in that game.
Okay. All right, and then Missouri, Clemson, Utah, Miami, Florida, Oklahoma, Kansas State, USC. I'll tell you what, I remember USC, that bowl game last year. I remember that quarterback that played. He looked awesome.
Well, they're going against a 4-string defense. I'll tell you what, that Ohio State Oregon game is going to be off the chain. Oh,
I'm going to that. Did I tell you that? I'm going to be out there for that.
Yeah, I think you said you had me a ticket or something.
I said I'm working on it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And with that, my friends, another almost hour is concluded. The Casey on Tap program. Douglas, before we go, as always, the people, your fans, my fans, our fans, any parting words of wisdom, any stories, anything you'd like to bestow upon us?
I do have one thing I need to touch on, and I hadn't even thought about this until you just mentioned this right now.
Okay.
The Olympics just concluded last week. And in that Olympics, there was some exciting games there at the end for the men's basketball. Steph Curry obviously put on that show with 2 minutes left. Mm-hmm. But the story of the Olympics, as he's been the story for the last 2 decades, he is now the only man in USA basketball history to win a gold medal in 3 different decades. He averaged almost a triple-double at the age of 40 in the Olympics, playing half the game. MVP, flag bearer for the United States of America, the greatest basketball player of all time, 20 plus years running. What this man has done on the basketball court, whether you like him personally or not, forget it. We're not talking about that. This guy on the basketball court, it's unbelievable. And it's unbelievable that this guy could be underrated for what he's done for so long, that people scoff at the idea that he could be the greatest of all time. As Oscar Robertson said in an interview last week, he said, the greatest of all time, there's no comparison. There's LeBron and there's everybody else. That's from Oscar Robertson. The man is incredible. So much respect. Watching him in the Olympics, he just continues to amaze. Especially this last year, what he did with the Lakers. So my parting ways. I mean, kudos to LeBron. Thank you for everything you've done for America. God bless you, LeBron. God bless you.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, he's not, as you know. I mean, it's a shame. I've said this before. I'm not a Cleveland sports fan. I'm a transplant here. I've been here 15 years, but I find LeBron very unlikable in the NBA. The whining, the crying. However, I'm a man of truth and logic and reason, and I find it interesting when, like you say, people scoff. If anybody were to scoff, I mean, clearly he's in the it's Jordan LeBron argument or conversation is the greatest of all time. Only people who don't like truth would say he's not. What he's doing at his age and what he did. I mean, I was texting you actually. You were in a golf. You were playing golf. I couldn't not text you as the Americans were coming back. I get chills thinking about it against
Serbia. Yeah.
And oh man, he just. I mean, Jason Tatum played for the world champion Celtics. Jason Tatum couldn't get off the bench. And LeBron was like, yo, I got this. It was ridiculous. So well said, Douglas. I've got no retort. I've got no rebuttal. I think you're spot on. All right. With that, my friend, until next week, ladies and gentlemen, he's Doug Wade or Dougie Wade, and I'm Casey. And thanks for listening to Casey on Tap, where anything goes. Have a great week, everybody. See ya.